So today we're going to be finally installing some lowering springs to the Fiesta St, because as you can see currently this car is absolutely sitting like a monster truck. The front is terrible and so is the rear. So we're going to fix this, and today we're down at KLGraphics, the only place to sort out the Fiesta. Once again, we've gone for Whiteline lowering springs. I had these on my Focus RS. They were absolutely amazing. They drove well and they sat very nice. So it was pretty much a no-brainer to go with the same brand. So if we just head round to the rear of the boot inside the Fiesta, as you can see, Whiteline have sent us out some of the nicest looking springs you've ever seen. Now, if I quickly open this, now that I've opened it, you can see inside we have the lowering springs. These are gonna drop the car 30 mil square, so 30 mil on the front, 30 mil on the rear. And if we look on the inside, you can see the finish on these is absolutely amazing. Just so much nicer than any other spring. I don't know how long the color lasts, but this is going to tie in well with once we actually wrap the car as well. And even just to finish it off, you'll see they've also sent us some Whiteline wheel caps. I mean, these are quite tidy for what they are. So if we head round, currently, even on here, the wheels are in such a mash-up state that we just even have these little black plastic ones on. So by just replacing them, it'll tie in nicely. Let people know that we have Whiteline on the Fiesta. Now, I haven't really shown you anything to do with the Fiesta at all. So just a quick rundown before we do a full in-depth video. We've done a lot of stuff to this car already, but the main thing about this car is that if we turn it on, you'll see it has 106,000 miles. So just to bounce off of that, when we do the springs on this car as well, we're also going to be doing top mounts, and we're going to be changing the rubbers top and bottom when we do the rear springs, just so it drives a little bit nicer. And as you can see, we've got completely genuine Ford parts, so we'll know that they're going to fit nice and snug. We won't have any concerns. And then on the front, we haven't gone for genuine Ford top mounts, but we have, if I can even open this box, gone for some good aftermarket ones that should keep us in place and have no knocks or bumps down the line. But other than that, that's all the excuse for the springs. We've got a few other jobs to do today, but it should all tie in nicely. So let's get the car inside and crack on from there. The car's now in the unit, and as you can see, we've got the ramp, so this job is going to be so much easier than before. We've done the RS on the ground, and the Fiesta springs are even easier, so being in here is going to take no time at all. And even though I showed you the parts in the boot, now they're out on the ground, we've got a bit of a clearer view of the springs. So as you can see here, these are the rear springs. The finish is so nice. I can't get over it, to be honest. You can't really see them, but to know they look like that is quite nice. And then we have some auxiliary parts that we're also going to be fitting. So like I said, top mounts, the rear spring holders, the cups and the rubbers. And then we also have some exhaust hangers, because as you can see here, this exhaust is a bit wobbly. So we're down at KLGraphics, like I said, we're using the ramp, so it's going to be way, way easier. But we're now going to put it up, show you the step-by-step process and the finished product. So now all four wheels are off. We're going to be starting on the front of the car. So as you can see underneath, these have definitely seen better days. The springs look worse for wear. So this is going to actually make a massive difference when we get the car back on the floor. And that'll be both driving wise and looks. Mainly looks, because this car rarely gets driven. But now we can actually start attacking the strut tower and actually getting it all undone. So we're going to start with the fronts, undo the rears, and then we'll replace all the springs at once. That's one bolt, nice and easily coming out. And then we also have to take the brake line off and a few intricate bolts around the back, but I'll show you when we get to that. So as far as I was aware, no one's ever actually done work on this car, but he's just pointed out that this is also broken. So perhaps these have been changed before, maybe for standard springs, I don't know. And as you can see here, we're actually having to clamp the bushing on the drop link because it's spinning. So we actually need to replace these after as well. But it comes off like that, one way or another. He does know what he's doing, believe it or not. And as you can see, just at the top, these are the 313 mils that I was talking about. Once we undo these, the tower will completely come out. And we're now just removing the scuttle panel because we need a little bit better access. It's quite tight in there, so just a simple job for the sake of 2 bolts, make our life way easier. We're also gonna take the headlights out because then we can remove the bottom part of the scuttle panel. And like I say, it'll make our life so much easier just to give us more access to them top bolts. And then we can carry on with getting the tower out. And out comes the lower scuttle panel. A bit quicker, mate, a bit quicker. And the other side, and just like that, we can now crack on. So he's just done 2 of them, but here is the last 13 mil. And then we can take the tower out. Nice and simple. So as you can see, the strut tower's out. The old spring isn't actually too bad, according to Jake, but we're gonna put the white lines on, and this is gonna make such a big difference. And as you can see here, this is the difference in springs side by side. We have the white line on the left and we have the standard Ford spring on the right. So initially they look about the same size in length. You can see maybe the Whiteline's even a bit longer, but the main difference is in the coils. These coils are much closer together than the standard ones. This one will be able to compress and actually lower the car, whereas this one will kind of have a bit more resistance and keep it at a standard ride height. So this, much better product for lowering wise anyways, and probably drivability. But we'll get into that on a separate video. So now we're just gonna do everything we've just done in reverse, put the tower back in, do the other front, and then we can move on to the rear. So as you can see, the driver side is back together. All we have to do is get the passenger side done as well. But you can also see here, we put the new drop link in. I'm not gonna actually show you the passenger side because we're just duplicating work. So when we get on doing the rears, I'll catch up with you then. So the rears are actually so much easier. It's just 2 bolts. We've got one on this side and one on there, and all we have to do is drop the frame and the spring will essentially just fall out. So as we undone both the bolts, the springs literally just pinged out either side. But as you can see here, the top mounts are absolutely cooked. So that's a good thing. We went and got some OEM parts just to replace them. We're also going to change the bottom cups, even though the old ones weren't too bad. I'll keep these as spare for a worst case scenario, but both they go in either side. So that's what they're meant to look like. And as you can see, like I said, this is what they do look like. They probably haven't been changed since the factory, I should think. That is terrible. And it's the same story for the springs. As you can see, this is where the top mount sits. So this has been sitting on here, corroding away. It's also then caused the spring to corrode. So like I say, it's best practice we replace the whole rear. And if we replace the whole rear, we probably will notice a little bit more of a difference with the new mounts as well. But now with the rear springs being so simple, we're gonna just put the springs in, put the 2 bolts in, and then we can get the car on the floor and actually see how it looks. So I'll come back to you when that's done as well. And now the car has been fully lowered. Even from this angle, without the springs settling, it kind of looks slammed. So on the rear, as you can see, we currently have about a 2-finger gap. This will probably settle to around 1 finger. And on the front, we also have about a 1.5. This will probably settle to no finger gap. And from this angle, it just looks even better. The only thing we need now is a set of spacers. But from this angle, it does look so clean. I can't get over how good it looks. And I must say a massive thank you to KLGraphics as per usual, because they've turned it around the same day. In a matter of maybe 2 hours tops, we ran into a few complications, but they got it done as usual. But now the installation is completely finished. I'll cut to outside the unit and I'll show you exactly how it looks when it's settled. And it's now been a couple days, but the springs have settled beautifully. Coming up closer to the car, you'll see the arch gap is very, very nice. And if you have a keen eye, you'll see we've also paired it with some spacers. The back of the car is just as nice. And as you can see, the fitment is perfect. So this is now spaced on 20mm spacers square. And with the Whiteline lowering springs, wow, what a combination to actually look at. I'm actually over the moon with how this has turned out. If you look behind me, we even have a little bit of squat on the car as well. Like for a little 2,700 pound Fiesta looks this good from behind, you know this is going to be a very good project in the long term. You can see inside the boot, we still even have the Whiteline stuff. We also have some Ram Air bits at the minute, but once again, that's also for another day. I have to say a massive, massive shout out to Whiteline for sending these out. They are absolutely amazing. I'm super, super happy with the choice I made. The fact that I had them on my RS and now I have them on my ST, I can see this car going for many more miles with many, many smiles, with the fact that it's actually comfortable now. It was so uncomfortable before, and I'll be completely honest, I was starting to think that it was actually a bad buy, but it turns out it was due to the suspension, and Whiteline have sorted it. So we can't forget KLGraphics for actually installing these springs. They've done this in a much quicker time than I would have been able to do it. And to get this car on the road same day within about an hour and a half getting them installed, it's quite impressive. So Whiteline, KLGraphics, a massive thank you to you guys. But now here's the shameless sellout part. If you guys need yourself a set of lowering springs, make sure you head over to Whiteline, and why not get KLGraphics to install them for yourself? It doesn't need to be a Fiesta. You can have an RS, you can have a Volkswagen Polo, any car. Have a look at Whiteline's website. You can even put your registration number plate in and it will come up with a match for your car. So if you want anything similar, these are actually their 30mm lowering springs for the Fiesta ST. I think they look great. I think you should be putting them on your car as well. So as always, if you did enjoy today's video, bit more of a different style of content, YouTube, we're predominantly known for TikTok. So if you want to go over and watch it on there, feel free. But as always, if you did enjoy it, until the next one, drive safe.